People think betrayal hurts most when it comes from strangers. But I learned it hurts worst when it comes from the people who share your blood. I'm Emily Carson, 32 years old, and the night my sister let her husband attack me, I realized family can destroy you faster than any enemy ever could. It started small, just a phone call on a gray Wednesday afternoon. "You're the only one we trust," my sister Lydia said sweetly. She only called me that way when she wanted something. She and her husband, Tom, wanted to buy a second property. An investment home, they said. But their credit was too low. They wanted me to co-sign the mortgage. I laughed it off at first. "Lydia, I can't risk my name. You two already defaulted once." She got quiet. "Then you're saying no?" I hesitated. "Yes, I'm sorry." She hung up without saying goodbye. Days passed. Silence. My messages went unanswered. Mom mentioned Lydia seemed stressed, but I didn't explain why. I didn't want to start family drama. Then came Tom's text. "You'll regret saying no. You owe her after everything." Owe her? For what? The words stuck in my head like a splinter. Still, I ignored them. 2 nights later, they showed up at my apartment. No warning, no smile. Lydia stood by the doorway, eyes cold. Tom walked straight in, his boots leaving mud on my carpet. "We just need your signature, Em." "That's it," Tom said, dropping a stack of papers on my counter. My stomach turned. "I already said no." His jaw flexed. "You're family. You owe us." Lydia crossed her arms. "You're making things harder for everyone." I tried to stay calm. "Lydia, this could ruin my credit, my savings, everything. I can't." He snapped. The papers flew off the counter. His fist caught my cheek before I even registered the movement. My head hit the wall. My vision blurred. Lydia screamed, but not for me. "Tom, stop. You'll ruin everything." He didn't stop. He grabbed my shoulder, slammed me down. The sound, it was a crack. My shoulder dislocated. Pain ripped through me. I remember screaming her name. "Lydia, help me." She just stood there. Tears in her eyes, but no movement. Then she said it. The words that replayed in my mind for days. "You ruined this family, Emily." When they left, I was barely conscious. Blood from my nose and mouth soaked into the carpet. My phone smashed. I couldn't call anyone, so I crawled. Out the door, down the hallway, into the night. Every breath hurt. My vision tunneled. It was raining. Cold, steady rain. My parents lived 3 blocks away. I don't know how I made it halfway before collapsing on their porch. Mom opened the door, gasped, "Oh my God, Emily." Dad called 911. I remember the sirens, the paramedics, then darkness. When I woke up, the room was white, humming with machines. My right arm in a sling, my face swollen. The nurse said I had a mild concussion, dislocated shoulder and bruised ribs. Then came the police. "Miss Carson, can you tell us who did this?" I hesitated. Even then, I didn't want to destroy my sister's marriage. But then I saw the bruises on my own arms, the fear in my mother's eyes. "Tom Reynolds," I whispered, "my brother-in-law." The officer nodded slowly. "We'll handle it." I thought Lydia would visit. She didn't. 3 days later, instead of flowers, I got a lawyer's letter. It said, "Cease spreading false accusations or face defamation charges." It was signed by Tom and Lydia. That broke something in me. I'd spent years defending her, protecting her from Dad's temper, helping her pay bills when Tom gambled away their money. And this was how she thanked me? The police opened a case, but Tom denied everything. "No evidence," he said. "She's crazy. Fell on her own." And since my apartment security camera hadn't been working for months, it looked like his word against mine. Except one thing. My downstairs neighbor, Mrs. Hanley, heard the fight. She told the police she saw Tom dragging Lydia out afterward, yelling about the signature. That was enough for an arrest warrant. They picked him up 2 weeks later, but he was released on bail. And Lydia? She moved in with their lawyer friend, still defending him. Something inside me changed after that. I stopped crying. I stopped waiting for an apology. Instead, I decided, if justice wouldn't find them, I would. I started gathering everything. Old texts, emails, bank transfers, voice messages. Turns out Tom had been running a fake investment scheme using Lydia's name. and he tried to rope me in to make it look legit. They weren't just desperate, they were criminals. So I called Detective Moore, the officer on my case. Check his accounts again, I said. You'll find something. And they did. Fraud, tax evasion, forged signatures, including one attempt with my name on it. This time, there was no bail. 2 months later, I stood outside the courthouse. Lydia came up to me, thinner, pale, eyes hollow. Why'd you do this, Em? She whispered. You destroyed us. I stared at her. No, Lydia. You destroyed yourself when you chose him over the truth. Her voice broke. I loved him. I nodded slowly. And I loved you, but you watched him break me. You stood there. She looked down, couldn't meet my eyes. That was the last time I saw her. Tom got 6 years for fraud and assault. Lydia disappeared from town. Rumor said she moved to another state, changed her name. Mom still sets a plate for her at Christmas, but she never comes. As for me, I healed. Physically, at least. The scars faded, though the shoulder still aches in the rain. I rebuilt my life. New apartment, new locks, new peace. And one night, months later, a letter came in the mail. No return address. Inside, a photo. Lydia and me as kids, in matching dresses. And a note. I'm sorry. I see it now. You were right about him. Lee. I didn't cry. I just smiled. Because for the first time, I realized, sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's just living better than they expected you to. People often ask me if I forgave her. And I did. But not for her. For me. Because the truth is, the moment I stopped trying to make her love me was the moment I finally loved myself enough to never go back. Sometimes family betrays you. But sometimes, justice has your last name.